Hello again, my name's Kevin. You're watching Leatherneck Prepper. So, these polymer 80 lowers, the kind that you cut out and build yourself, the ghost guns, as the president likes to call them, a lot of people will have issues where they want to lock up, they don't want to feed proper, and you'll see where the slide will, instead of coming forward, will be something like this. And have a little bit here, just not locking back the way, or not closing the way it's supposed to. What happens is this portion here will interact down in here in this channel that you have to cut out, and then you need to make these grooves right here, or these I can't think of what you call it. Anyways, when you cut all this out, you got to make sure it's really nice and smooth. Now what happens is when you're cutting this out, people will use the Dremel tool. You'll get down into this. Focus. And you'll have just a little bit left over. Just kind of hanging over. Right through here. So at that point you don't want to go back with your Dremel tool, because you can always take more off, but you can't add more back. So a small file like this round file here, not too aggressive, or this three-sided flat file here, again not too aggressive, or this file here, something flat, and you want a good solid flat base so that you can kind of work on it with. And you really want it to be sitting in a good secure spot so that you get nice and even across the board when you're running your file. I've been playing with it today. I built this one back several months ago and took it out, and it was not feeding properly, or it was feeding properly, I stand corrected. It would not lock back up. So you have an out of battery type situation. Nothing major, but still, if you're going to have a gun like this, the ghost gun, and you do want it to work properly. The first few I've done, I've never had an issue with. They all ran flawlessly, but this particular one, this 19, was more of a pain in my backside. I've had to work on it a little bit more to get it to go. And it just takes time and just small amounts. So I don't know yet if the work that I put into it has solved my issue, because I've not gone back to the range with it since I fixed it earlier today. But it's a lot more smooth when I put my slide back on it. It's not feeling like it wants to hang. So, and just right through here, just right in this little area, just hangs in this, in your recoil spring. So bear that in mind when you're doing one. I've got a pretty steady hand. I've done delicate work like this for years using a Dremel, so I feel comfortable doing it. But remember, it's really easy to go too deep with the Dremel tool, and once you cut too much off of it, that's it, you're done, because you cannot add more back, like I just said. And when choosing a gun for a grid down type situation, when you're not going to have access to anything else, you want to make sure it's something that there are going to be parts available, because sooner or later parts are going to break, they're going to wear out. Even the best made gun on the planet, that would be the SIG, the SIG 229, 226 series, you're going to have issues with occasionally. So getting some spare parts, or having more than one weapon, just something that there's going to be extra things around for. So remember, when you're choosing your weapon, it's not only something that you shoot well, it's something where there's going to be parts available, which is why Glocks are so popular. You can't go wrong with a SIG. The P320 is a good option. You can't go wrong with Smith & Wesson. You can't go wrong with a Glock. maybe I'm just snobbish. I don't tend to mitigate towards the 1911s or the 2011s. They're very expensive. They are finicky with the ammunition. They are the parts aren't as available. And if you use, say, a staccato, which is my biggest hang up, and I want one so bad, and I just don't want to spend the money on it, because if I'm using it for a defensive situation, it's going to go into the what's it called? It's going to Police are going to take it from you while they're conducting the investigation until everything's done. It's going to go into their lockup and as evidence. That's it, evidence locker. You're going to lose it. That's $3,000. Is that something that you want to lose? I don't. I would never use the Polymer 80 for self-defense either, unless the world had gone completely to hell and the rule of law was more or less totally gone. So bear that in mind too when you're choosing a sidearm for personal protection. Even the P229, 226, that's a higher end weapon, and I'm not too eager to lose that. But something like a Glock or a Smith or even P320, I mean, it's $500 or $600. It's a lot easier to deal with than $1,300 or $2,500. So bear that in mind too when you're purchasing a handgun for protection. Same way with a shotgun or a rifle for your home. It's okay to have the higher end ones if you want, but using something like that, remember, you're going to lose it. So anyhow, I hope this has given you some insight if you decide to purchase a Polymer 80 to build the Ghost gun. Just pay close attention to this area right through here, and it's where your locking block is. Alright guys, have a good one. Remember, there are a few problems in life that cannot be solved by battleship broadside. Have a good one.